That's my old picture there, when I used to wear a suit every day to work. I wear a suit when I have to wear one, but what I really do is I'm a coach. And so I coach on a lot of matters. I coach on business matters. I coach on football matters, baseball matters. So one of the things that I recently have done is taken over for the Florida Falcons. And today is a great day because, first of all, I get to coach with Coach Grayson today and help you all and talk to you all. But then at 1 o'clock, I got to go lead my 60-man team over at Bowles when we play the Georgia Firebirds. So we're excited about the opportunity to do that because we're a nonprofit organization. And as a general manager and a coach on the team, our goal is to help men in our community not only become better men, but become better football players and help them get to college and help them get in the pros. And over the last 7 years, we've been able to put 21 guys in college in the pros. So we're excited that I get to do this today, this morning, and then this afternoon. So I get to do two things. I get to talk to you about some financial matters this morning. And after 4 o'clock, when you guys check out, if you guys want to come stop by Bowles and see the game, we'd love to have you. So the story today that I'm going to talk to you a little bit about, and what people know me for, is I walk around with my towel all the time, and I've got this towel going. And sometimes I got to use it at work because I get so frustrated with what I hear sometimes when people come in. So the theme of this today is, and I was thinking about this, is money is a mindset, okay? Money is a mindset, you know, and there's this, you know, the rap song, you know, how's it go, you know, what's that? My money on my mind on my money and my money on my mind, right? So money is a mindset, okay? Wealth is a mindset, and I've studied it a lot. And just to give you a little background, when I moved to Jacksonville, Florida from the University of Florida, when I moved to the University of Florida to Jacksonville, I was 20 years old, and I was hired by UBS, which is the firm I work for, and I'm 47 now, and that's 27 years I've worked for one company, okay? 27 years I've worked doing one thing. And one of the things, when I looked at my wife and I drove by Bay Meadows on the way over here. We lived in an apartment on Bay Meadows right over here on South Side, in a little one-bedroom apartment, $400 a month. And my wife and I used to eat at the Kentucky Fried Chicken. That was our big night out, okay? And one of the things that we do is we ate a lot of tuna fish, and we cut a lot of coupons. And we said one day, our goal is to give away as much money in 1 year is that we make, okay? So my first year working, I thought there is no way that I would ever be able to get enough money to be able to give it away to make a blessing and make a difference. Well, every year for the last 10, I've given as much money away as I made my first year working at UBS, okay? So wealth is not just about money. It's about significance. It's about what you can do with it. It's about how you can help other people. When I was listening to Daniel, it was bringing back all the memories of giving and who to help and who to help and who to help and who to help. So one of the things that I want to talk to you about today is, as a coach, coaching in the locker room, okay? One of the things that we want to talk about is richness is not about just being wealthy with money, but it's about being wealthy in your spirit. It's about providing security. It's about providing independence. And then when you get done feeling successful, then you start thinking about how to be significant, okay? So people, when they have enough money, they don't either use it responsibly. I sit down with people, and the things they tell me that they do with their money that they could be doing, unbelievable stories that I've heard over 27 years. So some of the things that I want to talk to you about right now is some of the bad habits that I've seen in the first half. And then what I'm going to talk to you about is some of the solutions that I've given people after we've gone into the locker room at halftime, and they've come to see me and they've said, here's all the things that I've done wrong. And I said, well, here's all the things you can do right. And then what I want to talk to you about is the attitude and the mindset of how to try and do it every day. Okay? Every one of you is in a different spot right now. Every one of you has a different goal, a different objective. Okay? So this is not a get-quick-rich scheme. This is not me standing up here telling you how you're going to get rich today. This is some things to think about, some pondering. I've got a lot of notes here, so I'm going to rip through them like I do with my players. I sit down and I analyze the situation. I sit down with my players and I list them all out. I give them the notes. So I'm going to give Grayson my notes after this so that if any of you want my notes, I'll have them for you. You can get them. So if you want to take notes, great. If you don't, you can get them from him afterwards. So people come and sit down with me and they talk about, in the first half of their lives, typically from 18 years old, probably up to age 60, some of the things that have happened. So it's either some of the things that I see, they may be what you do right now, or maybe you've overcome it. But these are problems that we see in the first half of the game. So just like in a football game, we go out with the best plan, but sometimes that plan doesn't exactly work out. Okay? And then we got to go into halftime, and we got to go into the locker room, we got to come up with a different plan. And we got to come up with some solutions to turn this thing around. So let's talk about some of those things. Spending money without tracking. Okay? I meet people that make a lot of money, but they absolutely have no idea where it goes. And I say to them, when was the last time you sat down with your checkbook and your credit card statement and actually looked at every single thing you spend money on and categorized it and try to determine whether you're spending it properly? Okay? So people that spend money without tracking what you're spending money on, okay, leads to a lack of discipline about what you do with your money. Not asking for a raise at work. So you guys work hard, you do things that really can impact others, you've helped your company, you've helped produce more productivity, you've done a better job, and when it comes time for a raise, you step back, or you say, I'm afraid, or I don't know that this is the right thing for me to get out there because if I ask, then they may fire me. Okay? Hey, if you've done a good job at your company, if you've done a good job doing what you're doing, let people know. Okay? Go talk to your boss. Tell them you want advancement. You want a career better than where you are. Take some risk when it comes to asking for more income. Credit card balances. Okay? First thing that people say to me when they ask, Grayson, how can I get to this? That's all right. So this is what happens in the locker room sometimes. You get a player, you grab your player, and you go, hey, come on, help me out. All right. So credit cards. First thing people come to me is, I'll never forget this story. I had this couple come to me, and they said to me, I want to invest some money. I've got some money to invest. I want to invest some money. I want to make some money. And I said, really? You want to make some money? I said, well, so we're going to use green. You know why green? You know what? No, I'm serious. No. You know why you don't want to use red? Because red means you're losing money. Green means you're making money. Mo money, green. Okay? If the government would use, right, how to make more money with no money. All right. So I said to them, do you want to make instant money? This is an instant money. Rule of 72. Anybody ever heard of that? Anybody? Yes? Good? Okay. So the average credit card, and they did something this year that I'm so happy about. I don't know if you notice on your credit card statements now, they tell you how long it'll take you to pay off your credit card, right? Before they wouldn't tell you that. You know why? Because they didn't want you to know. The government, one of the things they did do in this latest changes in legislation was that they made you figure that out, so that you wouldn't be deceived by the credit card companies. The reason the credit card companies are out there giving loans to young people is because they want to trap them in this. Or, let me make the numbers easy, 30% interest, okay? They tease you at 1% or no money down. Every one of those deals where no money down, pay later, buy the good today. Okay, so I'm going to go to Best Buy. Every time I go to Best Buy, the lady says, do you want an interest-free loan for 6 months? You want interest-free on that furniture? You want interest-free on this? Hey, look, I'll take the interest-free, but I better pay it off. Because you know what? If you don't pay it off, your first credit card statement from them comes with a 30% interest rate. It's in fine print. Okay, so the rule of 72 says, if you divide the rate of interest that you pay on a loan into 72, it will tell you how long it takes for the balance that you owe to double. 2.4 years. So, if you owe $10,000 on a credit card and you're paying 30% interest and you're paying the $100 minimum payment, in 2.4 years you will owe $20,000. Okay? You want to know why people are crippled by credit cards? Because this rule right here. If you make the minimum payment on a credit card and you pay the interest to the bank or to whomever, you divide your interest rate into 72 and it'll tell you how many times it doubles. So think about every 2 years you owe another double of what you owe. So, you know, that 10 grand you spent on whatever better be worth it because it's doubling against you every 3 years. Okay? So if you want to make real money quickly, pay off your credit cards. Okay? And if you can't pay off your credit card, okay, try and find a lower interest credit card because, again, if you can get it down to 7%, then it's 10 years, right? 7 into 72. So this is what the credit card companies are doing to you. So what I advise every single person who wants to invest is the same rule applies to investment. If you make 10% on your money investing in the stock market or whatever, if you can do that again, then it takes 7.2 years for your money to double in your 401k, in your retirement plan at work, at whatever you're investing in. The same rule applies when the money works for you. When the money works against you, okay, it cripples you, okay? People that are crippled by debt is because of this rule. Pay off your credit cards. It's instant guaranteed return on investment. If you use multiple credit cards, read the fine print, find out which ones are paying the highest interest rate or have the highest interest rate, consolidate to the lowest interest rate. It's an automatic monthly savings and cut up those old cards. Okay? These are the things that I continuously see people doing. People come and they want to invest money, but they're paying 20% interest on this credit card and they want to try and make 10% on their money on the other side. Doesn't work that way. Okay? Buying too big a house. Right? We saw that in the crash of the last 5 years, buying too big a house. Okay? I can afford it because the interest rates are low and the bank said, based on my credit score, I can get this much of a house. Okay? But then when the house goes down in value or things change, I can't afford it. Or the interest rate changes or the loan payments change. And it goes into foreclosure. Okay? The people that are out there, I was listening on the way here, we can flip houses now. Have you heard the flipping houses one? Right? How about gold when it was $1,800 an ounce and everybody's saying sell your gold and do gold and gold and gold and gold. Put your IRA in gold, sell all your stuff and put it in gold. Okay? Anytime that you hear on the radio over and over and over again the same story about how to make money, it's a top. Okay? It means there's no opportunity for anybody. You all are the suckers. Okay? They are trying to take what they have done and take advantage of you. The time to buy anything, there's an old saying, buy straw hats in the winter, sweaters in the summer. Right? You've heard that before? Okay? That's a good one to remember because when you want to buy is when there's blood in the streets. The time to buy houses was 3 years ago. Okay? Not now. Okay? Unless there's a really good deal, but the deal's got to work out. But anybody that tells you that you can make money quickly in the environment that we're in is lying to you. Okay? Because I've been doing this for 27 years, and it takes a long time because it takes a disciplined plan. I have more people that come to me as broken souls that I have to repair their mindset because somebody sold them on a bill of goods on how they could get rich quick. No emergency fund, paycheck to paycheck. How much money do you make? I make 50 grand. How much money do you bring home? I bring home so much. How much money do you spend? I spend so much. How much money do you put in your emergency fund every month? I don't have one. What do you mean you don't have one? Well, what happens if something goes wrong? Well, I hope nothing goes wrong. You mean you don't have a cushion? No, I don't have a cushion. Okay. You mean you don't take like money out of every paycheck and put some in a jar for savings, some in a jar for giving it away, some in a jar for your expenses, and some in the jar for a rainy day? No, I don't even know what you're talking about. All I do is I get my paycheck, I cash it, I spend it on whatever I want to spend it on, and I pray to God I have enough to get to the next paycheck. These are real issues out there. Living beyond your means, okay? By not having a budget. Again, back to University of Chicago. People say, what did you get out of your economics degree from the University of Florida? This is one of the biggest things I got. For every level of income, there's a level of expectation. Okay? For every level of income that people make, they buy bigger houses, bigger cars, more jewelry, more stuff. Okay? If somewhere along the line they don't save and put money away to protect themselves for their future, to create independence and security, they don't have multiple streams of income, they raise, they spend. Then they level out in their income, but they keep spending. This is where the debt comes in. Okay? Then they get a raise. Then they go, you know what? I just got a raise. Let's go buy us a bigger car, more jewelry, more of this, more stuff. Okay? Income levels out again, right? Expectations keep rising. Standard of living. Income flattens out. Hey, we're going to keep... all I got to do is I'm going to keep striving, keep grinding, and I'm going to keep making money. And you know what? Every time I make more money, we're going to improve, and we're going to improve and improve. Sam Walton drove a beat-up pickup truck. His wife today gets $420 million a quarter on the dividend on Walmart. Okay? They never spent the money they made. They always lived below their expectations of their income. What happens when your income falls off and you lose your job, right? What happens? Your expectations here for your life. Okay? This is what we're paying for. This is the stuff we committed to. This is the boats, the cars, the jewelry, the commitments that I made at church. But guess what happened to your income because you lost your job? Your income drops off, and your expectation for your life is right here. Now, what I will tell you is that divorce, okay, death, and tragedy all happen right in here. Okay? I get people that have lost their jobs, divorced, or dead with no insurance and no protection, and mama's living right here, okay? And her income now is down here, okay? This right here, the distance between those two, is a total collapse of your life, okay? So one of the things that I would tell you with most people is do not raise, every time you raise your income or you raise your ability to raise your income, don't live up to the standard of every dollar that you make. Because if you do that, you'll be dependent upon that. You'll be a slave to that. No insurance, no wills, no guardians. Do you know in the state of Florida, for all you parents, how many people have kids here? Okay? If you die without a will with a guardian named, Department of Health and Services come take your kids away. That's who they decide who the guardian's going to be. Okay? Most people don't know that. If you don't name guardians in a will and you die unexpectedly in a car crash, you're a single parent, The department, the government comes and tells you who your kids are going to stay with. Okay? That's rough. Okay? I had a $5 million net worth. I asked him, what happens to you if you die? Where does your money go? He goes, I haven't gotten that far yet. I said, what do you mean you haven't gotten far yet? Where's your will? Let me see it. He goes, and this is the typical look I get. I go, look at me now. Come on, Coach John's talking to you. Where is the will? I don't have a will. No, I don't know. I said, you don't have a will? Everybody should have a will. Wills are simple. Wills are cheap. You can go on LegalZoom.com. Not that I recommend it because I'm not a lawyer, but that's not what I would do. But if that's the only way you can do it, that's what I would do. Okay? Make sure that your family's protected. If you don't have any insurance and you think you need insurance, because like if something were to happen to you and your wife or your spouse would not be able to pay the bills or pay the mortgage, you might want to think about getting some cheap insurance just to make sure you're covered. If you have it at work, buy it. You don't have to go to a salesperson. You don't have to go to a company out there. Most of your corporations or companies that you work with offer benefit packages that offer this stuff. Okay? Failing to use your 401k, your IRAs, your savings plans. Okay? I know people tell me, Coach, I can't afford it. I can't afford to put my money in that plan. I can't afford to put my money in there because, you know what, 59 and a half is a long way off, and, it's a long way off, and, I need that money today, and, every excuse known to man I've heard, okay? What happens is you're like 20 years old, and then you're like 50, and you're going, well, wait a second, I don't have enough money saved. So one of the messages is failing to plan is a plan to fail. We know that. That's a given. You know what the definition of insanity is? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. That's what I find in most people with financial problems. They don't get empowered to change. Okay? So I've talked about some of the problems. So we go in the locker room, we sit down, we talk, we consult. Everybody tells me where they're at. What's a strategy, Coach? What's a strategy? Talk to me about what are some of the things that I can do. Okay? Create a budget for yourself. List it on paper. Okay? A friend of mine told me one time, if you don't put your goals on paper, if you don't put down on paper what your budgeted items are and your goals for financial means, you will not succeed. Okay? What I love about this group right now is half of you are taking notes. The other half of you that are staring at me like, what's this guy saying? Okay? Right? People that are interested in solving problems take their notes, they write down all their information, they keep track of what they're doing, they become accountable to themselves. Okay? I cannot force you to earn more, save, earn more and save, earn more and save. But what I can do is encourage you to be accountable to how you spend your money and what you spend your money on. So if you earn more and spend less, okay, you will have positive cash flow. Okay? So let's assume you've gotten out of debt, or let's assume you have no debt. And let's assume that what you want to do is earn more, spend less, okay, and have positive cash flow. Okay? Let me give you one suggestion, and this is what I do with everybody that gets divorced or or has a death or something in their family. I say to them, list on one side of the paper wants, and list on the other side of the paper needs. Okay? So when you take $1 out of your pocket and you spend it, ask yourself, did I spend it on something I needed or did I spend it on something I wanted? Okay? And then itemize all those out and then rationalize them. Did I really need it? Okay? Now certain things we got to have. We got to have food. Okay? And what Carmen would probably argue, right, is you got to have the right food. Right? Okay? And the right food sometimes is expensive. Okay? But sometimes it isn't. Okay? So what you have to do is be careful about what you buy and what you eat, okay, and what you spend your money on. So people like one of my players, he said, Coach, look, got a grill on both sides. He had his grill on both sides of his mouth and all the gold. And I said, is that where all your money's at? He goes, yeah, it's in my mouth. And I'm like, and how much is in your bank account? And he said, I don't have a bank account. I got all of it in my mouth. I said, okay. That's what the mindset is if I can have stuff, okay, that's going to make me rich. It's not. What being rich is being able to be independent, to be able to write a check whenever you want, to be able to go on a vacation when you need to be able to take time off to be with your sick grandmother, to be able to help your mom and dad out, okay, to be able to give it to church. That's what being wealthy is about. The freedom to be able to choose on your own. And one of the reasons that I love Grayson is because Grayson believes that you can get there. And he's going to do everything in his power through these seminars to try and encourage you to become independent. And that's one of my messages also, one of my messages to my players is you can be independent. I did it. I started as a 20-year-old in Bay Meadows with nothing, okay? And I just worked hard, persistently worked hard, worked through failure, worked through adversity, and became disciplined about what I needed to do with my money. Pay yourself first after you get out of debt. Save, give, and spend. I have a thing, 21 cents. What I figure is if I can save 21 cents, I got it made. So 21 cents is my number, okay, on a cash flow basis. So money I bring in, money I take out, I want to have 21 cents left of that dollar at the end, okay? That's the number. If you do it, you will have a rising net worth, okay? What is a net worth? A net worth is when you add up all your assets and you subtract all of your liabilities and that's what you have left over, that's your net worth. You know what the average net worth in this country is? $8,000. The average 401k balance, $65,000. Okay? People say to me all the time, what's my number, coach? What's my number? I mean, I have these baby boomers that are all turning 50 every 5 seconds. What's my number? How much do I need to retire? Okay? 30 years ago, most of your parents or relatives received pensions, right? How many people know pensions? Everybody, your mom and dads have pensions, okay? Social Security, pension, right? Okay. Those are streams of income. About 15, 20 years ago, everybody said, we're not going to do those kinds of plans anymore. What we're going to do is we're going to put the onus on you instead of on us to provide for your retirement, okay? So instead of giving you a pension, most companies give you a 401k, okay? What's my number, okay? Think about this. Everybody think $1 million is a lot of money? $1 million is a lot of money? 5% withdrawal rate on $1 million is $50,000 a year. Okay? So if you want to retire with $50,000 a year of income, you have to have $1 million saved. Okay? If you want to have $100,000 a year of income, you have to have $2 million saved. So maybe some of it will come through Social Security, but at the end of the day, you have to be responsible for saving your own money today because the government likely is going to be broke by the time most people need their Social Security checks. Okay? So it's even more important today that you save and save and save and use the rule of 72. The problem is that the banks right now are paying 0. Okay? So you know what 0 compounds at 72? Infinity, right? Takes you, right, 100 years to double your money at 0. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, the banks, the government is killing the saving population. Nobody can earn any interest on their money. They are forcing you to take risk. So what most people are doing versus using traditional forms of investment is they're looking for multiple ways to earn more money, okay? And some of the things that Grayson's talked about, some of the other people that are going to be here are going to talk about other ways to do that, okay? Fix your credit report. If your credit report's a wreck, fix it, okay? It's the only way that you'll be able to navigate if you do need credit for a business or a startup business. Credit reports are critical, just like report cards in school. My wife says to me, no matter how much money we make or don't make, we're going to use coupons. We're going to shop at Walmart, okay? We're going to go get our nice clothes at the discount outlets, okay? I know every discount outlet in town, all right? I don't wear a $200 pair of pants, okay? I wear Izod $20 microfibers. Even though I can afford to buy a $100 pair of pants, I buy a $20 pair of pants. When I need to go buy a shirt, I go to Ross. I don't go to Dillard's. All right? No matter how much money we have, that's our mindset. Our mindset is we look for our coupons, we look for ways to skim. You know why? Because if I can save money doing that, I can give more money away. That's my whole thing. I want to give it away. So the more money I can give away to help somebody else, the less I have to worry about my life and the more I can help them with their life. Now, please don't all call me and say, John, will you give me some money? All right. Great. I'll tell Grace I can't come back, okay? This is another one. Nutrition. Let's go back to nutrition. I cannot believe in my office how many people go out for lunch every day. They spend so much money going out for lunch, okay? They go to restaurant after restaurant. I mean, when I see them, it's 12 o'clock, the doors open, and people are running to their cars to go, and they're going to go eat at this place and that place, and we're going to spend this much money. And I ask them, how much money are you spending on lunch? It's crazy. I pack my lunch every day for work, okay? I try and take a nutritious meal. My wife cooks meal we have 3 teenagers. My wife cooks a home-cooked meal every night, okay? And I try and take my own lunch, and I eat breakfast in the morning, okay? So I cook my own breakfast. I bring my lunch to work, okay? It costs me like $8 a week for lunch because I bring my own lunch. You can make your own food and make it nutritious and take care of your body and your mind and your soul, and it's not as expensive as going out and letting somebody else prepare it for you. You would not believe how many people that I talk to that go to Ruth Chris 2 times a week. The average bill at Ruth Chris is $250 for a couple. So it's $500 a week to go to Ruth Chris. How great is the steak there? I don't know. $45 for each steak? Am I running out of time? I got 5 minutes. Okay. You can donate for tax breaks. You can market yourself every day at whatever you do. One thing I would tell you is please, please, please avoid bankruptcy. There's a lot of people out there. I had a lady come to my office and say, I'm telling my mother that she should declare bankruptcy because this is the way we can get out of this house and we can get out of paying the bank and we can do this and do. She's got this whole scheme on what's called forced bankruptcy or whatever they call it now. Don't do it. Okay? All you're going to do is wreck your credit and you're going to wreck your life by being in that position for 7 years. Okay? If you're in bankruptcy, try and get yourself out and try and get your credit repaired. 3-bucket concept. Short-term, intermediate-term, long-term. When you save money, think about it like this. I need money for in and out. That's my short-term bucket. My intermediate-term bucket is for things 3 to 5 years out. My long-term bucket is for my retirement. Okay? Put some buckets in your house. Try it. Every time you come home, whatever change you have in your pocket, throw some in each bucket. Just think about it. I'm not telling you these things because I think they're going to make you rich. I'm telling them to you because I want you to think about it in your mind. Because if you get it in your head first, you will then translate it into what you do every day. So 5 takeaways. Have a budget. Look at your needs and wants. Educate yourself. Get financial goals and timelines for yourself. And get multiple streams of income other than where you work. Okay? Because that'll help diversify your income. Okay? One last thing, and then I'm going to get off. The problem with these kinds of programs, the problems with my team, I give a speech every Tuesday and Thursday night. I'm going to give a speech in a couple hours in the locker room. The problem with these programs is that we all get great ideas, and then we go home and do nothing about it. Okay? I talked to Grayson about it, and I said, Grayson, I love doing this. I feel great that I can maybe help a few people here today. But I want you to think about, if you come to something like this, don't just write all this stuff down and throw it in a corner and don't use it. I mean, it's worthless if you don't use it, okay? So you're going to hear a lot of great stuff today, and Grayson's one of the best speakers I've ever heard. But some of this stuff you have to use, okay, in order for it to work. So having the right attitude, okay, talent's overrated. I tell my team all the time, talent's overrated, guys. Okay? I don't care how good you could be. What I want to know is, are you motivated to take action to put your talent into work? Okay? So one of the messages that I have is attitude through mental toughness. If you have the right attitude and you finish strong. So let me just show this t-shirt to you, because this is a t-shirt that I wear all the time. And it says, motivation gets you started. Desire keeps you going. All you need to give is all that you have. Okay? So you have three choices in life. You can either give up, give in, or give it all you got. Okay? I'm going to read one last thing to you, which I read to my team about attitude, that Lou Holtz read. And Lou Holtz, if you don't know, was the coach at Notre Dame, won a national championship. Attitude. How you respond to the challenge in the second half will determine what you become after the game, whether you are a winner or a loser. Today you're in the locker room, and today you have to decide with attitude. Are you going to take some of these ideas that Coach and the other coaches that are here today give you and put them into action with the right attitude, or is it just going to be another infomercial? Okay? Thank you very much. I appreciate the time.